Hey, my friends, it's Patrick Allmond from Stop Doing Nothing, and I'm pretty excited for this interview because if you'll notice, I'm not in the normal boring home office with the background. I am in Arizona, and it doesn't look like it, but it's pretty hot here. That's not the really cool part. The really cool part is I'm here with Tamara Thompson, and she runs a company called Serious Take Productions. Did I get that right? Correct. And Serious Take does all of my video that we've been cranking out over like the last 6 months. So if you ever noticed that my Facebook stuff and my YouTube stuff's getting a lot better, it's all thanks to this brilliant woman right here. So I was very lucky. And Tamara, thanks for taking the time to talk to me today.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming into Arizona.
Yeah, you run this great house and we're doing some great work here. And we thought we'd take some time for people to learn more about you because I've been talking you up ever since I've been working with you. I'm just so happy with the work that you've done. And we started talking here a little bit before the cameras were rolling, how you got into this field. And you said you were like at a very young age when you started picking up a camera?
Yeah, so it actually has been with me since age 7. And you know, before even picking up a camera, I never even looked at it as a career option. It was always a hobby, even going into my 20s. My dad bought one of those big camcorders over the VHS options, you know, with that piece of it. And you know, ever since then, I was kind of like jumping in front of cameras, being like the ham. They're like, Tamara, we're trying to record your little brother. Get out of the way. I'm like, oh, you know. And so it was just always been there. And from there, I went into middle school and junior high, middle school, and started doing like silly videos and stuff like that. Then YouTube came out, and I still did silly videos and, you know, watching people do like parkour, because at the time of YouTube came out in 2005, people didn't know what to use YouTube for, right? And it was just like viral videos. So
you were like a queen of, were you that kind of person that does the silly kind of things that go semi-viral?
I did have videos go viral back in 2012, but that reason of those videos of why they went viral was because it actually inspired us to do what we do now with our Broadcast Your Authority program, because what happened was I went back to film school after I was actually unhappy in an industry. I was in the fitness industry for about 8 years. And I had more fun filming my friends that were personal trainers in their workout videos than actually going and training people. So then I went back to film school in my late 20s.
Got it, okay. And when we were in film school, what kind of part of film school really intrigued you? Was it more of the storytelling process? Was it the techie behind the scenes stuff? Because the film school can cover a lot of things. Which part of film school did you really like the most, do you think?
You know, what's funny, Patrick, is the fact that you asked that question, because when my mentor, Kenny Smith, unfortunately passed away shortly after I graduated from lung cancer, but he was one of my biggest mentors in film school, and he actually introduced me to Lynn Shelton, who was a famous female director. She directed the TV show Fresh Off Your Boat, some of the Mindy projects, the new series on Hulu with Reese Witherspoon, she directs that. She is a Seattle director, and I was kind of following her footsteps as a mentor for a while, wanting to get into more of like the aspects of movies and stuff in the beginning. But Kenny Smith had asked me that question, like, what do you enjoy the most? And we went around the room and everyone's like, I want to be a director. I want to be a director. I want to be a director. And then I was like, I don't want to be a director. And I literally said that out loud, which is weird because at the same time, after he asked that and I started taking the classes and figuring out the journey, I started realizing that I was really good at directing. I was really good at creating an overall vision, the storyboard, the storytelling, like being able to direct people on where to go and seeing the overall visual. And so that's where he turned around and challenged me to create an entire documentary my last year of film school. He said, I want you to go out here, create a documentary. I want you to enter it into film festivals. And I want you to see how well you do. And I took on that challenge and I entered it into a film into Sundance. And that particular film ended up being sold out in film festivals all across Seattle, Washington, Palm Springs, California. And then I was being asked to speak at events, show the screening at private places, restaurants, bars. It was insane. And all of a sudden I got known as this female director in Seattle. And then at that point, YouTube was there kind of in the background, and people were asking to see it. So it actually got picked up by indieflix.com. So the video was there to purchase and rent and view. And then we turned around and made the decision to create micro content pieces, short stories from the segment, because the movie itself was fairly long at 74 minutes. And so we took these stereotype stories, it was all stereotypes with women in business and other things in their life and their journey, to show that not all women are the same.
Right.
You know, and so I stepped in and
So were you guys kind of mocking the stereotype? Is that what you were doing?
no, well, no, because you'll see like somebody that might look this way, but they might act this way, or you know, like just things like women in business, or you know, they have to be dominant, they have to be this, they have to dress this way. Like we were just going and showing examples of what people, breaking the mold, showing that not all women are the same. Don't put us in these roles. And so from there, we started segmenting them out. And within a few weeks of actually creating a channel for that specific film, that channel ended up going viral in a matter of less than 3 weeks. And then we had over 800,000 views, and then multiple short stories started to go viral. And it was just like this kind of intense like sensation, like, whoa, like this is what people are looking for. But we knew that people were searching for specific things on YouTube, and that's what striked up an interest years ago before we even started our current program and offer. But it all has led this whole path and story into what we do now for people, creating, you know, these long form content into micro pieces that lead back to the full version of that video.
Got it.
And so, you know, and that's where people need to be and step up and be the authority and share their story, their message, you know, but also know what people are actually searching for on YouTube. So that's where it came to start. That's like the origin of me and what I did, like enjoying directing films to then turning a production company into focusing on branded content, into branded stories, so that people could share their message congruently online. So that's all where Serious Take Productions started, and then we moved into our Broadcaster Authority program under the umbrella.
Got it. So you mentioned a phrase there that I want to dig into a little bit, something called micro content. Can you kind of tell me a little bit what that is and why that is so important versus like regular long form content, and you know what do you consider the difference between the two?
Yeah, so when I say micro content, it can be multiple pieces of different types of content for different platforms. So let's say micro content would be a piece of this video that's formulated into a different format. So here's a profound quote, image, created a graphic design of a quote from your video. So that's one piece of micro content. Another piece would be like a short teaser video. A lot of people reference like Gary Vee style videos because he had started, you know, a couple of years ago creating some square videos that are like under 60-second snippets, like short mini teasers that will get people's attention, and then it's like call to action, watch the full episode now, you know, over here. And then like they're like so enticed with that video, they're like, oh, I would definitely want to watch his full video over here. And so it's micro content is just a formulated piece in different aspects. So if it's a video or an audiogram, maybe it's an audio piece pulled that has an image and you see the little wave bars going. Just being able to create something that is pulled from the main episode, short formed, that can lead a call to action back to the full. So that's what we call micro content, that piece. Most of the time I refer it to the video pieces, but it can be related to other aspects.
Right. I think oftentimes when I talk about marketing, I give people advice saying video is so important to a business. But you and I were talking even earlier today that there are some things that are better for video and some things that may not be necessarily for the video. So how would I know as a business owner if I have like a brick and mortar location or versus me being a thought leader, which industries or which kind of businesses lend themselves better to video?
I think it depends on what their particular call to action is. I think every type of business can benefit from video. It really depends on what type of video with their marketing material. Let's say you're a brick and mortar business and you have a storefront. Let's say an example, maybe you're a doctor, a nutritionist, chiropractor, dentist, something like that. But you solely have a brick and mortar business and you have to drive people to a specific location because you physically meet with these people. They physically come in. You have to market to one surrounded area, mile radius, basically, for people to come in and actually work with you. So those videos, though, that can still position you as the authority, like the videos that we've done to create like your brand story trailer, the authoritative roles, those videos are great to position yourself on your business page as people come in because they get to know you, hear your voice a little bit, see you as the authority. So you definitely want to have your story or some sort of explainer video about what you do, preferably having you on the video, because an explainer video or a whiteboard video could be like those drawings, you know, people doing things, but people want to know you. Right. They want to hear your voice, see you, get to know your mannerisms, like do they feel connected to your personality, you know, things like that. So I think those videos are prime to have because they're positioning you as the authority. You're getting to know people. A lot of videos that we've helped people create are facts videos for brick and mortar because of the fact that you can go have a facts video. So some people like to consume content reading. Some people like to get to know you visually.
Modalities. And by facts, do you mean FACTS or FAQS?
QS.
So like FAQs.
Yes,
got
exactly.
it. Okay.
Yeah. So
I want to make sure that the people got the word right. Okay.
Facts video. Yeah. FAQ. Yeah.
Not FAX at all. Not fax videos.
We could just fax you a video. Exactly. That would be interesting. Here comes an MP4 through I don't know how to do that.
Through a machine in black and white, very low resolution.
Yeah. People are like, what is that? But yeah, so it's something that makes sense on there, or if they're the type of business owner that's a brick and mortar that can launch something online, depending on what they're certified in or depending on regulations of what they do. If they're creating an online course or something and they want to be that authoritative figure, those individuals that do have influence and can build that, right. I think that with what our system is creating for people to be consistently visible, that can work for those people that truly want to be the influencer in that space, but they're probably booking themselves. I know you've been on a lot of media shows, talk shows, news things, like doing things like that can help you position yourself too with video. Okay. And so it's really a little bit different though, because the ones that are really focused on the online market, coaches, consultants, service providers, digital marketers, agency owners that have digital products, I think that they have the opportunity to be able to connect with people more though through video consistently. Okay.
Got it. Why the name Serious Take?
So Serious Take Productions is just the overall umbrella company. We really focus on broadcast your authority now. Okay. But the reason that I picked that name in the beginning is because when I directed those documentary films, and all I wanted in my life was to be known as a serious filmmaker, because people are always like, I don't get it though, because you're so fun and witty and whatnot. Like, why serious? Like, I think Tamara, I don't think serious. I'm like, I take my business seriously, and I want my clients to take the business seriously. People can see two sides to my personality, but when you're running a business, you want yourself and your clients to take things seriously. So that's really where the name came. It just kind of popped in my head, and I was like, Serious Take, like take your business seriously.
Got it.
And that's where that formulated.
So you're always looking at things from, you know, a director and a cinematography point of view. When you're, and also I think I see a lot of what you do refers to like people's story. Let's say you're browsing someone's YouTube channel and you're pulling up one of their videos. How do you know, or can you tell me, and this would be kind of a tip for a viewer, when you're watching someone's storytelling video, how do you know pretty quickly whether or not the person's going to be good on camera or whether or not the person has a challenge on camera? So I guess another way of asking the question is, how do you know really good whether or not someone's going to need a lot of coaching or whether or not, okay, someone has it, we just need to get them generating content on a regular basis?
Sure. Well, first off, usually you'll know because the people that come to us that are interested normally will either have been producing some sort of content, are inspired to create content, know they need to create content. And it's just that conversation to really asking them about where their confidence level is and if they have examples of previous videos so that we can actually see how they come across as well. Or if they have a live stream example or something, you know, you can definitely tell like where people's confidence level is there and their authoritativeness, you know, the sense of like, you can just tell if people have professional videos already created for them, then we've taken a look and see what they have for their website or whatnot. If it's non-existent, you know, I'm like, have you ever done a TEDx talk, or have you spoken at an event? Have you been on a virtual series? You know, like share this with our team and our project managers to review that. Because I think most of all, people are pretty honest. They'll just say, you know what, I don't have any background in this. And then you have to go through and ask more questions to see that. And then, you know, if they have to feel comfortable to create an example to share with our team, you know, we recommend that. Say, hey, do your first one. We'll give you feedback. And then we go from there to see like how they can help with that side of, so we can actually critique and see, like, give them feedback on how they can improve.
Got it. Okay. So now think back a little bit to when you kind of thought of that name, Serious Take. Yeah. That wasn't really probably your first day in business, but compared to now, back then, what is like a piece of business advice you would give yourself back on like the very first day of business that you know now that you every now and then want to virtually smack yourself upside the head and said, I wish I had known this on day one of my business?
That's a good question. I'm really that type of person that consistently takes action and figures things out. So I don't know if I'd like go back and say like something specifically other than like just keep going.
Right.
Like it's the like don't stop.
There you go.
Because I think even during times of, I think this has probably affected everybody with the pandemic that hit us this year, you know, a sense of like being stuck at home more often. But you know, I have set myself up from running my own business from home, so I was kind of used to that. But then after you're spending 40 days at home, it was, you know, it's got to be a little bit draining on sides with that. But I think talking back to my younger self is just saying, keep going, doing exactly what you're doing, fail again, you know, or not really failing. It's like falling forward, you know, failing forward. Because, you know, we never are failing. We're just learning, you know, and yeah, I think that would be the one thing to just keep motivating myself, as if I ever felt like giving up on something, to just don't, which I've never really given up on anything. So if I've ever thought like something's not working, then I'm like, I have to understand it's not working and just shift, because at that point, just telling my younger self to continuously shift, and that's what we've done to be able to pivot in specific times, even during this time. We were fortunate to have a business model that still could keep running during this time, and people actually were attracted to what we do because more people were at home and on Zoom calls and creating content or wanting to create content. There were more people on YouTube the last few months than they were like last year. Like that is insane. So billions.
Has like your business really taken off in like the past couple of quarters as a result of this?
We've been pretty consistent with it, you know. There's been a little bit, you know, here, but it's been pretty consistent. You know, you have to cater to people's needs and stuff too. So I think people also were asking us a lot more questions during the time, because then they have more time on their hands on information. So we were taking the extra attention to detail to connect with those that some that did have brick and mortar businesses, and it talked to them about how they can bring their business online if they're allowed to do so, depending on regulations with specific types of things.
Got it.
So it was just one of those things where, yes, we were getting reached out to by a lot more people because those people had to shift, they had to pivot. And so it's kept our team just cranking, you know, and just being empathetic to people's needs of people not understanding maybe the whole essence of online when they've been focusing on other alternatives to appointment setting or leads coming in the door.
Got it. One of the things I've noticed is that when a particular platform adopts a feature, all the other platforms will do that. So now we can live stream on Facebook.
Because Facebook buys everything.
Yeah, because Facebook and then LinkedIn and then YouTube and all that. So I'm kind of curious from your point of view, is it better for me to focus on one platform, or is it better for me to use like a service where I can restream to like 10 places? Focus on one or focus on 10? And I guess focusing on 10 isn't really focusing. So what's better from your point of view? What should people be doing there?
Yeah, so I definitely have my own opinion on this, because I've actually had this conversation with some of our clients that have influence as well. In my own personal opinion, I really believe it's important to drive people to one overall place where you're going live, because the numbers of that will populate more and the algorithm will boost that particular live stream. I mean, I see the benefits too of going out all over the place at one time, because you're catering to those people that want to see you where they want, when they want, or whatever, but they could catch a replay. But the essence of that is, I had this one conversation with a client that has a massive authority, but when they're going live to LinkedIn and Facebook and, you know, over here and YouTube and stuff, it doesn't give them as much credibility when you start seeing the numbers dissipate, where it might be like 40 people joining over here and 60 over here.
So is it kind of like diluting it? What could be like a large number in one place? It's subdividing it, like diluting it? Is that what you're saying?
That's what in my own opinion, because of the fact that, you know, they're currently looking for large sponsorships because they get over 80,000 downloads to their audio podcast a month. And they have a daily show Monday through Friday. So they're pumping out content consistently. But when you're putting out these sponsorship packets and you're trying to drive more traffic and you want to show these results, you know, as a sponsorship view, I would come to that thing and I would say, if I didn't know that they were all over the place at the same time, and I picked up a video that just happened to have 40 people on the live stream in one spot, am I going to want to invest in that sponsorship? You know, so if they're telling me there's 80,000 downloads on the audio podcast, but just as an example, like I think it would be ideal to push, if you have 300 to 500 people on your live stream, show that one spot. So when people come on, they're wanting to share it out. That algorithm's going to push way more on that one spot with more people coming on and liking and commenting than trying to get bits and pieces there. And that's just my personal opinion, because there's many others that have other opinions that, well, I just want to reach more people all over the place. But if you can drive it that way and push the replay to your email list, or have some sort of call to action at your end of your live stream that gets them on their email list, every time you have a live stream, have a call to action so that they say, hey, do you want access to this blueprint or this PDF or whatnot, or this mini series? Click here, boom, they're on your email list. So then they're getting the notifications of your replay or whatever, so it pushes people back to that one stream that keeps populating more and more views, so your analytics go up at the end of the month.
Got it. Okay. Here's a second. I want to ask you to tell me more about is it called Advance Your Authority, Advance Your Reach, your program that your training that you do?
The Authority Accelerator?
Yeah. Is that what it's called, Authority Accelerator?
Yes.
Okay. I want to talk about here in just a second. So I want to get your mind in that mindset. Sure. But before we get to that, okay, I'm someone who said, oh, I want to do what Tamara does. Her stuff is awesome, and I want to eventually hire her. If I'm a beginning filmmaker or a beginning YouTuber, I'm going to be concerned about things being perfect. Should I wait and buy like a perfect set of equipment? Should I just start whipping out my phone and making videos? For someone that just wants to be like a beginning YouTuber or a beginning content generator, what should I be doing first to get some at least mediocre quality videos out there?
Yeah, so I always tell people, you know, just get started, even with if it's starting with your iPhone. You know, the iPhones, the Androids, if it's a short video, then you have the space within your camera on your phone. If you have that, and you can actually upload and download. The cool thing about it is the fact that you can shoot in 4K. You know, there's filmmaking capabilities as long as you set your exposure correctly. There's ways to set that on the exposure locks. When you get your iPhone up or your Android or whatnot, you could get a simple ring light. Even just to get going, you know, start in a quiet room if you don't want to buy a podcast mic, or maybe you want to record a podcast audio separately and you want it to edit together. That's totally fine. But you can simply use something to get going, like your laptop, your webcam. There's upgraded webcams that are better quality and HD. You know, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars. You can, you know, save up and spend maybe under $100 on a ring light, use your smartphone, or buy a webcam that's like $80 to $100. You know, things that can keep you not break the bank. You know, something if you know you're going to get started and you want to save up for maybe like a vlogging camera that's $400 to $800 or whatnot, like let yourself put budget out for that. But we are always telling people, we have clients that have taken my advice, set their iPhones to 4K, and then basically made sure they had space. They use their exposure lock, set that as soon as they put it up with their lighting, and then basically it's locked, so you know you look good because you're watching yourself on the camera, right? And so then you're creating the content, and our team basically will edit out anything that's like intro, outro, pushing buttons, whatever that looks like, you know, so that's all removed. But just get started, because when you're committed and when you show up and you're consistent, if you're the type of person that wants to either do it weekly and just do that weekly, or if you're like me, I love to just sit down and record a batch of content. I'll just record a dozen videos in one day, and you know, change locations, change clothes, whatever that looks like, and then I'm set for my entire quarter. You know, if I'm doing a weekly
so you'll do like a quarter's worth of videos in one sitting?
Yes.
Wow.
Not always, but we'll do some and then we'll switch it up. So then I'll do live streams every month too. Then we'll repurpose that into a show as well. Or I'll set up Zoom interviews or something like this. Maybe it's more of a professional setup and we do the video podcast series. And I'll interview people for my show. So then I split it up. So now I've got content that can be repurposed into my show as I'm going as well in the now. So like when the pandemic hit, we had to shift as well and create content to what people were searching for now. Because that's what YouTube was looking for. People were typing in coronavirus, they were typing in pandemic, they were talking about how to start a business online, how do I shift businesses? Like that's what they were searching for. So we had to create content specifically to be searched online during that time. So that was a little bit different for YouTube to understand that that's what people were actually looking for.
Got it.
Right, and so then I would prioritize and pass that to my team to focus on those videos then, and then we'd pick back up the schedule from
the regular video. Got it. Okay.
And so it's really just being prepared. If you don't feel like you're a consistent person, try that. Some of our clients will pass off like 3 videos in 1 week because they're like, I'm just gonna do 3 videos, I'm almost set for the month, and they'll come in and do like 3 more. And so it's just easier for them to do that. Unless you enjoy, going live and putting your video camera up every week. Okay. Some people do, and so
it's like a lot of work, but
it is. And so that's why I batch record.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. And so as we kind of wrap this up here a little bit, can you tell me a little bit about I think this is the program I'm involved with, is like the Authority Accelerator. Remind me of the name one more time, I apologize.
Yes, the Authority Accelerator.
Authority Accelerator. So tell people that are listening really quick, and actually remind me, because I've been working with you for 6 months now, and I know the program's awesome, and all I know is I give you videos and a bunch of other cool stuff comes out the other end. Can you briefly talk about that program?
Yeah, so the whole purpose of this program is to start with data-driven content. Occasionally we work with individuals like yourself that they're like, I have all this video content that I want to repurpose and reuse to be able to put on my show, right? So we started with you on that piece, and now you're starting to create other content now coming up. So it's all about data-driven content. So on the piece of yours, we kind of came in from the back end, say like, what is this video about? Now we need to search for the keywords that resonate with that repurposed video.
Got it, okay.
But normal structure would be like, if you're creating new content, is we always start with the market research. What is it that people are actually searching for in your industry right now? Get to know more about you and what you do, what you teach, what you train, what your offers are, so that we can understand the marketing. What would be those keywords that people are literally searching to find you? Like, what is that? What does that look like? And create titles and headlines for the specific YouTube video.
So kind of like, would that be like SEO kind of for the videos?
Yes, okay, so we do data-driven SEO first, market research that turns into passing off like a whole sheet of ideas. So that you can go in and choose, you're like, oh, I like this, I like this, I like this. Here's 30 ideas that you can run with, and then we can swap those out. So our team does that market research. You select those titles. You basically record that content and basically can pass that off to the team. So all our clients do is spend less than a couple hours a month to record content, pass it off, and our team does this entire system where we're able to produce that into your YouTube content that then is repurposed into your audio podcast. So if somebody doesn't enjoy videos and they like to listen to iTunes in their car, or they go walking or jogging, you can reach different audiences on different platforms. From there, our whole system creates that micro content piece that we talked about, where we're able to, bring this episode to life in different ways. If someone resonates with a quote, a lot of people like quotes, on Instagram or Facebook or whatnot, that it's a great type of micro content that people like to reshare. Right, so that's one way to populate. And then videograms, which would be the short form, 60 seconds or less, short clips, the boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Exciting. I want more. Boom. Watch the full episode.
Like teasers almost.
Teaser, yes.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And then, so it's really just having the whole system from YouTube to audio podcasts to going in, and our team optimizes the YouTube in the back end. So that's description, tagging, everything that needs to be done, all 15 plus steps that people don't want to worry about.
Yeah, there's a lot of them there, and I see the checklist.
And so they keep adding things.
Yeah.
And then they change them. So we have to keep up. So our team's really good at keeping up with the times with all social platforms. What's going on now? Creating images that go in Instagram stories or Facebook stories, because we were talking about this off camera about how Instagram, when you have over 10,000 followers, you have the swipe up option, which is great because you can link them back to that episode again, or a call to action to opt into your email list, or whatever that looks like. Whatever your call to action is for that episode, our team even changes it up if you have something going on that you're promoting, you know, or an offer, you know, we can switch that link up so it's not just always going back to that, but if you're like, hey, if you're interested in a coaching call session or discovery call, put that call to action in there.
Okay.
So, but you're over here on LinkedIn with a branded article that's derived from your transcription of your video. It's all these pieces that people are like probably overwhelmed with. They're like, wow, that's a lot of stuff. Yeah. But they don't have to worry about it because we're directing them on what they should provide for content within their industry niche, and then creating all this massive visibility for you to be everywhere. And that's when people start following you, and people need to understand that people see you. No matter if they like, share, or comment, they see you showing up. All of a sudden, I'm getting messages over here from people that, I get messages all the time saying, hey Tamara, like I just wanted to say, like, you know, I love your stuff, and you know, I've been following you for a while, and I'm like, I don't know who this person is. They've never said hello, and
but they know you.
And literally, I'll get messages be like, all I know is I need to work with you, and that's just like how it goes. And it's because I show up, I get the content out there. We're sending them out in email campaigns. We're pushing them in different ways, and being and also having guests on your show like this. So like, having content to ask people like myself to share out this episode, you know, like that's going to push up, and doing collaborations with influencers that are willing to help promote so that you can get more views too, in that sense. So creating that micro piece content for your guests too, so that they can, yeah, so it's always about serving everybody that's a part of the project, right? So if like I'm your guest on your show, and then they're like, hey, our team's going to create one piece that actually can be catered to that guest. So here's a videogram of like a profound statement or something, or a quote
that the guest said.
That the guest said. Okay. So they can share it out on there because it's still positioning them as the authority, but it's on your show. So it's linking back to your show.
Very cool.
So
got it. So now someone's watched this video now. They've convinced that you are brilliant. How can they find you?
I would say go to broadcastyourauthority.com.
Okay.
It will basically link to our team sharing some results, some testimonials, and they'll set up a discovery call. It's a free call with one of our team members. Chad's one of our great guys right now with the client services, so very knowledgeable. It'll take time to listen to your needs, so your entire business model. It'll take like the full hour just to figure out how we can help position you more as the authority online, or if you haven't even got influence on there, how we can help you get set up to start getting more traction.
Got it. So cool. Well, I think everyone knows what they need to know now, whether or not Tamara is a good fit for their space. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me. And just so everyone knows, the reason we're together right now is because as part of that program, she even does like on-site work, and we're in this glorious location with cameras and lights and a cameraman back there, everything with a San Diego hat on and everything. Don't think I did notice that, sir. And so this is part of the program right here, is she'll pull you in and she will make you look amazing. So we're going to get back to that. Thank you very much for watching, Tamara. Thank you very much for being on camera, and everyone, we'll see you on the next episode.